Welcome back to 2K14 Universe. Subject is SmackDown Montreal, Canada, baby. It's Jeri-Show kicking things off on SmackDown, baby.
Tag team contest is scheduled for one fall. On the way to the ring, Chris Jericho and the Big Show.
I want to thank everyone except for Sean Cook for waiting incredibly patiently for this new episode of SmackDown. As you all know, except for Sean, I do like to take breaks every now and then from doing this. And obviously, naturally, all I ask is you don't harass me on my other channel or on Twitter or anywhere, and just continue to wait patiently. Because otherwise, you're just kind of delaying it more, because you're making me not enjoy it as much. But anyway, there's the 2012 SmackDown Money in the Bank winner, Chris Jericho, with his tag team partner, The Big Show. What's up?
And their opponents first. From Charlotte, North Carolina, weighing 235 pounds.
Why doesn't he have a special nameplate for SmackDown? I would have thought this would have been like his home in 2012. Is this even 2012? We are in 2012 in this universe, aren't we? Yeah. Because 2013 is when this game came out. So most of the stuff is based in 12. You know, that's how it goes. Anyway, we got tag team action kicking off SmackDown this week. Jeri-Show back at it as tag team champions. Jericho feeling very high on himself as future World Heavyweight Champion.
Weighing in at 214 pounds, Zack, Ryder.
Comment down below, do you think Jericho will become World Heavyweight Champion with the Money in the Bank contract? Or do you think he or Cesaro, that is, will be one of the first to ever fail a cash-in? Tell you what, one guy got very, very lucky at that show we just had, Money in the Bank. And that is Damien. And that is Damien Demento, is what I was about to say. No, obviously that is Damien Sandow. There you go. That's all I had to say. Managed to keep his World Heavyweight Championship in spite of everything that went down, in spite of the fact that he went into that with extremely low momentum. He found a way. So my question is, what comes next for him? How is this man going to continue to undermine the top stars of SmackDown? Speaking of undermining R-Truth, undermining Chris Jericho there, really got some serious control over the Mr. Money in the Bank. Got to think Jericho's obviously not going to be feeling 100% right now, though, after going through a 6-man ladder match, even if it was only like 3 minutes long. You know, he's clearly very beaten up from it, and that is why he has taken it upon himself to get out of that ring and get Big Show in that ring. Big Show has expressed serious interest in invoking their rematch clause for the World Tag Team Championship. He says, Jericho, I know you got the World Heavyweight Championship in your sights, and I think you've got what it takes to become World Heavyweight Champion. I think you will be the next World Heavyweight Champion. But Big Show says, let's focus on our rematch for the tag team titles, and maybe you could rule the world with both World Championships here on SmackDown. I'm sure Jericho would not mind being World Tag Team Champion and World Heavyweight Champion. Now, traditionally, we have a ruling here where if you're holding a championship, you're removed from the rankings of the other championship. So if Jericho was to cash in his Money in the Bank briefcase anytime soon, him and Big Show would no longer be eligible to challenge for the World Tag Team titles. They'd be removed from that championship's ranking system. However, if Jeri-Show are to win back the World Tag Team Championships, hypothetically here, and then Jericho is to cash in his briefcase whilst these two are holding the tag titles, well, there is a loophole there. He won't be forced to give up either championship. Instead, he'll be forced to defend both. But, you know, that is a little something that he's got going for him there. And obviously, I think now is a good time to invoke the rematch clause whilst the momentum is high. Obviously, Undertaker and Kane, not really the most active parts of Friday Night SmackDown. A lot of tag teams, as I said before, feel that the tag titles have been taken hostage by the Brothers of Destruction. They're an unbeatable combo, but they almost don't seem to need to prove that to anyone. Well, Zack Ryder up to his feet, very dazed, as Jericho takes care of our truth. There's the WMD punch from the Big Show, and Jeri-Show with a very quick, defiant victory starting SmackDown. Speaking of the World Heavyweight Championship, though, we've got an interesting main event coming your way, as you can probably see from the thumbnail. Edge and Bret Hart in our main event tonight, and I'll get more into that in a moment, why that match is happening. Very interesting backstory to this one, and very high stakes, to put it simple. But right now, Chris Jericho and the Big Show, they are perhaps looking to become World Tag Team Champions again. I don't know for a fact if they will be, if that's something that they'll be doing. But I'll tell you one thing, Big Show, he wants championship gold, and I can't blame him. He is one of the most successful men in the entire universe's history, and I think they've got what it takes to be two-time Tag Team Champions. Alright, we are back here on SmackDown. I will get to what I was about to talk about in just a moment.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring, from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, weighing 227 pounds, the Intercontinental Champion, Christian.
Well, as I said before, the main event involves two guys very, very synonymous with Christian, the Intercontinental Champion. And I'm talking, of course, about both the former Intercontinental Champion, Bret Hart, who Christian got a disqualification loss to keep the championship against. And, of course, I'm talking about Edge, Christian's good buddy Edge. Sorry, that kind of came out wrong. I mean, I kind of got to the point anyway. But yes, they'll be facing off in our main event tonight. That's a very interesting one. A #1 contenders match for the World Heavyweight Championship could be in the future of the winner of that main event tonight. Obviously, right now, the rightful #1 contender in a lot of people's eyes is Randy Orton, who was cheated out of being in the World Heavyweight Championship match at Money in the Bank after a backstage attack seemingly by JBL. But I've got some interesting comments from Randy Orton that kind of shift the future of SmackDown a little bit in a very it'll make sense in a minute. I'm just going to let Ultimate Warrior make his way to the ring first. This is a huge opportunity for Ultimate Warrior here tonight, by the way.
And approaching the ring, weighing 275 pounds, the Ultimate Warrior.
Just shaking that thing out all over his head. Ultimate Warrior out here tonight, set to face off against the Intercontinental Champion Christian. You got to think, if he can beat Christian, humongous opportunity for the Ultimate Warrior right there. Undoubtedly could be in line for the Intercontinental Championship. And yes, as I said before, the main event, there is a lot surrounding it, which I'm going to wait until this entrance is finished, but there is a lot to talk about regarding the main event. Randy Orton, Bret Hart, Sandow, just a lot of things. And I'm gonna go over all of them as best as I can in just a second. Alright, so first and foremost, of course, as I mentioned before, you know, seemingly JBL took out Randy Orton at Money in the Bank just, what, 5 days ago, leading to Triple H getting a one-on-one match with Sandow instead. Obviously, Randy Orton was heading into Money in the Bank with the most momentum out of all three men in that World Heavyweight Championship match. It was a huge shift in what we were all expecting. I think a lot of people kind of were looking at that match going, well, it's a given, you know, Randy is going to be walking away the new World Heavyweight Champion, and then last minute, he's taken out backstage. Very obvious premeditated attack from Sandow and JBL, you know, who have become allies. Later on tonight, we've got Damien Sandow, I believe, is set to face off. Oh, sorry, I think it's JBL set to face off against Mark Henry, with Damien Sandow saying he will be in the corner of JBL. So they seem to be becoming some kind of business associates with each other. There's been no explanation as to why these two have kind of aligned with each other, but if I had to guess, it's just because they see eye to eye. They both see the world in a very similar fashion, and they both function in a very similar fashion. I think they just get each other quite a bit. But funnily enough, I've been meaning to get to this exact point here. Randy Orton has not accepted the theory that everybody else has been talking about, JBL taking out Randy Orton. Randy Orton is insistent it was Triple H that took Randy Orton out backstage before Money in the Bank, because he knew that he wasn't going to get back his World Heavyweight Championship, and he fears Randy Orton. Now, obviously, things have been getting very heated between Orton and Triple H in the last few weeks. It just seems to be out of control between those two, to put it quite simple. So I'm very interested in the resolution here. It has been pitched that perhaps at SummerSlam, instead of either Randy or Triple H facing off against Damien Sandow for the World Heavyweight Championship, a contenders match takes place between them, and they settle the score between each other once and for all in a match at SummerSlam. Now, this has not been confirmed. This has not been something I can deny either. This is simply a rumor right now that that may be the resolution, because initially I was going to say, you know, do you feel that Randy Orton deserves the World Heavyweight Championship opportunity more than anyone else, as Randy does, as I personally do? You know, I wanted to know what everyone's stance on it was, but as it turns out, that as I just said, you know, it's already kind of been like resolved somewhat. So we now move on, shifting gears, as Michael Cole used to like to say, to another situation that's very interesting, and the reason that we have the main event that we have here tonight. And that main event, of course, being Edge and Bret Hart. Well, interestingly enough, for those that maybe don't know this, Bret Hart holds a pinfall submission, whatever one, I think it was a pinfall victory, over Damien Sandow, the World Heavyweight Champion, while Sandow was holding the World Heavyweight title, heading into, I believe, Money in the Bank. And because of this victory over Sandow, Bret has been approached, he's been told, you know, the situation between you and Christian is a little bit of a tough one. You do rightfully deserve a shot at Christian for the Intercontinental Championship, but you are also rightfully a contender for the World Heavyweight Championship. So you have a choice to make. Do you want to become contender for the World Heavyweight Championship or the Intercontinental Championship? And before Bret Hart could make his decision, he was approached and challenged to a match here tonight by Edge, who insists he belongs in the World Heavyweight Championship picture, that Money in the Bank was a screw-up, things didn't go right, you know, it's not Edge's fault, he deserves a World Heavyweight Championship opportunity. That was not the plan for him to lose that Money in the Bank ladder match, and he does still intend on becoming World Heavyweight Champion. So tonight, we got Bret Hart and Edge one-on-one, as that rivalry between Hart and Edge and Christian continues, evidently, and it does kind of leave you wondering, who is the rightful contender to the World Heavyweight Championship? So that is a question I want to ask you, the viewer. Who do you feel is the rightful contender to the World Heavyweight Championship right now? There's a lot of people involved in this picture. It's quite a messy situation. It's quite a crowded scene right now. And SummerSlam is obviously one of the biggest events of the year. So naturally, you can't help but wonder who it's going to be facing Sandow for the World Heavyweight Championship at SummerSlam. Obviously, if Bret Hart or Edge beats the other, that could help narrow things down a little bit. Kill switch connected there by Christian. Has the Intercontinental Champion put away the Ultimate Warrior? Well, we won't know now. Warrior showing how much power he's got. This is such a huge opportunity for the Ultimate Warrior to knock off Christian here tonight, to earn himself an Intercontinental Championship opportunity, undoubtedly down the line if he can do this. Warrior rolling up Christian, caught him completely off guard there. Is it enough? Yes! The Ultimate Warrior defeats Christian. A man who has been looking to kind of find his footing, find his place in SmackDown, might have just done that in an absolutely major way. Well, you win some, you lose some, Christian, and you absolutely lost this one. The Ultimate Warrior doing what Bret Hart was unable to do, catching Christian off guard and rolling him up, and now he holds a victory over the Intercontinental Champion. Is the Ultimate Warrior perhaps the next Intercontinental Champion? Is this something that awaits him in the future? Only time will tell, but I will say this: congratulations to the Ultimate Warrior. Anyway, we now move on here on SmackDown.
making his way to the ring, from the United Kingdom, Robert Scorpio.
Robert. Well, he's got a big opportunity here tonight. Robert Scorpio did something that shocked a lot of people and upset one man very much. And I'm talking about his opponent here tonight, Ryback. And that is, he eliminated Ryback from the 6-man battle royal that took place last week here on SmackDown, won by Chris Jericho. It came actually down to Scorpio and Jericho, I believe, as the final two. And Scorpio was very quickly eliminated by Chris Jericho in that final matchup right near the end there. But, you know, interestingly enough, I think that was a bit of a standout performance for Scorpio. I think this guy's really starting to actually maybe finally get somewhere in his career after many years of struggles and, you know, ups and downs. Perhaps we're finally starting to see his footing. Unfortunately, though, he's caught the eye of someone you really don't want to be on the opposite side of, and this could set him back a little bit tonight, if not permanently, depending on how bad this goes for Scorpio.
Approaching the ring from Sin City, weighing 291 pounds, Ryback.
Okay, so it's quite a heated face-off between these two. And as I mentioned before, you know, Scorpio managed to pin Ryback, something that has been elusive for a lot of people for a long time. Scorpio managed to pull it off in that battle royal, and Ryback has taken some huge offense to that. Obviously, Ryback has, you know, he's suffered losses. He's suffered losses to, yeah, losses is the right word. It didn't sound right as it came out of my mouth. Suffered losses to the likes of Sheamus and The Undertaker a few times in the past, and he can almost understand those losses. Those ones to him, he can kind of make some sense out of. But it's the loss to Robert Scorpio that really sets Ryback off, because this guy is puny in comparison to Ryback, and that's just something he's not willing to accept. I tell you though, Scorpio's been very quick on his feet right from the beginning here. Seems to really be embracing the spotlight on SmackDown at the moment, which is something that I think he really needs to do. He's not exactly a very common feature here on SmackDown. More notorious over on Superstars. This is, as I said, a big opportunity for Scorpio to kind of get his feet off the ground a little bit. Speaking of superstars getting their feet off the ground a little bit, one superstar says that he is sick and tired of not being a champion in the WWE. He says he's been here for the past 2 years and he has never gotten his flowers, and he has had enough of that. So he is issuing a challenge for tomorrow night Superstars. I'm talking about Eddie Guerrero. Absolutely revolted at the fact that he was put in the Cruiserweight Championship ladder match and that Ray got in the way of his success once again and stopped him from becoming Cruiserweight Champion. Eddie has put down a challenge against Kofi Kingston tomorrow night on Superstars. He wants his hands on that Cruiserweight Championship, and I will admit, Eddie Guerrero is an incredible talent. Yeah, no, I honestly, I feel like he's bigger than the Cruiserweight Championship. I feel like this guy could absolutely be mixing it up with the Intercontinental Championship scene right now. I don't think he's quite at the World Heavyweight Championship point in his career so far in this universe. I do think he'd make a great World Heavyweight Champion. I just don't think he's quite there yet in terms of, like, what he should be striving for, I mean. But I do believe that that could be a great match tomorrow night. Obviously, I think Kofi Kingston, he's the fighting champion type. I think he'd be willing to take that challenge on. But Kofi has said that one thing he really wants to do is he wants to make this championship one to remember, because obviously his previous Cruiserweight Championship reigns have all been very short-lived. And that's something that Kofi really wants to turn around. So this is a big opportunity for both of these two to find something to turn themselves around. But Kofi, of course, I do believe he is the kind to go, you know what, Eddie, you want a shot at my title? I'm a fighting champion. I'll give you that shot. So we'll be interested to see if that takes place tomorrow night on Superstars. Scorpio looking for something here. Perhaps the... No. I was about to say maybe perhaps the White Tiger one. That's not the setup for that at all. He does hook the arms, but he hooks them almost like he's going for a butterfly backbreaker or a double arm DDT when he lifts him up. I'm gonna say Scorpio's been pretty impressive so far against Ryback, though. This really isn't the kind of competition I was expecting from these two. You know, we've seen in the past so many of Ryback's matches, they're very short-lived. They don't often reach this length as he's looking for it once again. I don't know what he's going for there, but it's not working out for him as there's the meat hook clothesline from the big guy. And again, Ryback is actually someone who's been kind of struggling to find his place as of late. This season, he's really experienced a bit of a downfall, quite a lot of losses. I think it's almost the opposite of his usual win-loss record. Great move there by Scorpio. And a stomp on the head of Ryback as well. Ooh. This is a very vicious side to Robert Scorpio, I tell you. I think we haven't really seen too much of his potential in the past. It's all about finding that thing that works for you, and it seems like right now Scorpio's reinventing himself in a positive way. And the belly suplex sends him into the ropes, and uh-oh. Yeah, the fans, they know what this means. Ryback knows what the... Well, of course Ryback knows what this means. This is not a good place for Robert Scorpio to be, I'll say that now. Up on the shoulders of Ryback, and slammed into the mat. They're shell-shocked. That's gotta be it. Sorry, Scorpio, but that's gotta be it. Oh my... Okay! Well, I wasn't expecting that. You took me for a surprise. You'd think I'd know what Scorpio can and can't get down of, but that took me for quite a big surprise there. Setting up on the ropes here, and now coming off crossbar. Oh! The way those knees just kind of... Oh my god, is he going for a second one? Ryback saying he's finishing this a second time. Oh my god. Scorpio, I don't know what you were thinking, but you really pissed this guy off. Second shell-shocked. Perfectly positioned away from the ropes. Here's a cover, and that time Ryback gets the win over Scorpio. I think that was a pretty decent showing from Scorpio, but I think this was a much needed win for Ryback to kind of get some momentum back in his favor.
Here is your winner.
Fans seem to be happy with the outcome here.
Absolutely amazing.
Well done to the big guy. Well, Ryback is victorious. Another hard loss for Scorpio, unfortunately. Might be back to superstars for him coming out of this one. But, you know, him and Ryback, they're both actually kind of similar in the rankings right now, which I really need to update on the wiki, by the way. But they're very similar in the rankings. They're both a little bit low down there, both more superstars based. But here tonight, this challenge was laid down, it was accepted, and Ryback is victorious. As we now move on to our next match here tonight, JBL and Mark Henry, can they settle the bad blood between them? And how will Damien Sandow play a factor in this match?
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring from Silsbee, Texas, weighing 418 pounds, the European champion, the world's strongest man, Mark Henry.
Well, Mark Henry says he is sick and tired of JBL. He was tired of being in his shadow. He was tired of being screwed over by JBL. And of course, what I'm talking about with that is this all started back when Mark Henry faced Sheamus one-on-one in a Money in the Bank qualifying match. JBL came out and apparently tried to help Mark Henry by distracting him from the match and allowing Sheamus to get a victory over Mark Henry in that qualifier. Well, Mark Henry later proved that he could beat Sheamus because he faced him one-on-one for the European Champion. Well, it was a four-way match, but he faced him in a match for the European Championship, and he did in fact win the European title.
Approaching the ring, accompanied by the self-professed intellectual savior of the masses, Damien Sandow from New York City, John Bradshaw Layfield. JBL is one of the greatest WWE champions.
Well, JBL is the longest reigning WWE champion in history, and in fact in about 40 to 50-ish days, his reign as WWE champion's record will be beaten by The Rock. If The Rock can retain the WWE championship at SummerSlam, whoever he ends up facing off against if The Rock can keep his hands on the WWE title, he will break JBL's record as the longest reigning WWE champion in history. Currently, he already holds the title historically for a combined length much longer than JBL. So already in one regard, he is actually a longer reigning champion than JBL. It's just that that's in combined days and not in a single reign. JBL slowly, confidently making his way to the ring. And did you notice who was with him? The World Heavyweight Champion Damien Sandow. He is in the corner of this man here. What a dangerous combination these two are. When I say these two are dangerous, I don't even mean in terms of viciousness. I mean just how they function, how they think, how they can find their way out of things. I'm honestly in disbelief, though. JBL seemingly got away with taking Randy Orton out of the World Heavyweight Championship match. You ask me who took Randy Orton out of the World Heavyweight title match 10 times out of 10, I'm not saying Triple H. I think Triple H had no problem setting foot in the ring with Randy Orton once again and trying to overcome him and Damien Sandow to recapture his World Heavyweight Championship. I understand where Randy Orton's coming from with this whole, well, he's afraid of me, you know, I'm gonna take him out. Like, I can see it. I can absolutely see where this is coming from. But I'm also saying that I truly believe Triple H wouldn't back down in that situation. And that, Randy Orton and Triple H, you know, they both had something to prove in that match. And, I think Triple H wouldn't do that kind of thing. Whereas I do believe JBL would. I believe Sandow would get someone to do that. I just don't know, man. But it's interesting to me, Randy Orton right now, you know, he's the rightful contender to the World Heavyweight Championship in my eyes. And instead we've got this match between Bret and Edge, and Orton seems to be wanting a fight with Triple H over the World Heavyweight title right now.
Methodical pace benefit, King? Well, whenever the dominating competitor takes his time, it gives everybody.
This fight taking its way to the outside as Mark Henry looks to hurt JBL. Of course, you know, this has always been an interesting history to me because I know that they didn't end things on good terms, but Booker T came into this universe as an ally of Mark Henry. They were part of a faction together, and even though things kind of fell apart between those guys, you know, JBL is the reason that Booker T is no longer here. He took him out in such a vicious way. That powerbomb on the outside, the possibility that Booker T may never return from that injury. Look at this. Come on now. Sandow's got to be known very comfortably right now that things are kind of going his way in some regard. You know, you got Edge setting his sight in the World Heavyweight Championship. Sandow feeling confident there because Edge does not have the best win-loss record this season. So I'm going to argue he doesn't even really deserve to be in the main event right now. But obviously with the challenge that was laid down, it was accepted, and so it took the spotlight. But, you know, one of the biggest threats on the SmackDown roster is his ally in JBL. Mark Henry, a huge threat to Sandow, currently holding the European title. Two massive threats to Sandow, the World Tag Team Champions, Undertaker and Kane. They're already Tag Team Champions, they can't go for Sandow's title. And Randy Orton and Triple H seem really preoccupied with one another. Right now, Sandow must be feeling very comfortable, very safe here. And what is he sticking his nose in this business for? What did JBL just do behind the referee's back that Sandow needed to cause this distraction? I'm telling you, he did something. Huge clothesline, dropping down the European champion. I believe Sandow has been kicked from ringside, or he decided to leave. The damage might have been done. I don't know what. Oh, wow. Oh, no. Oh, this is not what JBL and Sandow had planned. Instant kick out from that clothesline. I think maybe they're forgetting they're dealing with the world's strongest man.
You can see the abuse from this grueling match has definitely taken its toll. What a move.
Cover here from Henry, and he gets the job done on JBL despite his best efforts. This European Championship reign of Mark Henry's is going to be a thing of beauty, and it is going to change things. Wait a minute. Mark Henry has had enough, and he is wailing on JBL, and you know what? Good on him. I can't believe I'm saying this on a post-match attack with a steel chair, but good on Mark Henry for getting even with JBL. Hopefully, that can put things in the past for these two, and Mark Henry can move on. But speaking of moving on, it's now time for our main event. Two guys have their eyes potentially set on the World Heavyweight Championship. We don't know where Bret Hart's intentions lie. Does he want to take the title off of Christian, or is he going to take up an opportunity most people would never pass up on and become the #1 contender for the World Heavyweight Championship? Well, only time will tell, but what we do know is up next, Bret and Edge in the main event. This is a massive opportunity for Edge to knock off the undefeated Bret Hart this season. We'll find out if he can do that next. Alright, we are back here for our main event on SmackDown. Edge and Bret Hart. As I mentioned before, there's quite a storied history amongst these two. And tonight, another chapter will be written in this long rivalry between Bret Hart and the likes of Edge and Christian. But perhaps this could be the closing chapter for Bret Hart if he moves on.
Making his way to the ring from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, weighing 241 pounds, the rated R superstar, Edge.
It is truly fascinating to me that Bret Hart could very well just say, you know what, I'm done dealing with Christian. I want my hands on the World Heavyweight Championship. Honestly, though, the problem with that is Damien Sandow really that much different than Christian in some regards? You know what I mean? Like, is it really going to be that different for Damien Sandow to shift his attention, for Bret Hart to shift his attention over to the World Heavyweight Championship? I'm not too sure.
And approaching the ring from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, weighing 234 pounds, Bret the Hitman Hart.
Either way, though, this guy has become of great significance in the main event scene here on SmackDown, and if he can beat Edge here tonight, and if he can continue to set his sights on the World Heavyweight Championship, there's no telling if he could be the one to end Damien Sandow's reign as soon as SummerSlam. I'm interested. I'm very interested. I forgot how long this intro was. I went to like stop and just kind of let it wrap up there, and then I was like, oh yeah, he's got like a whole other bunch of stuff he's gonna do. This isn't even close to finished. Well, yeah, Bret Hart obviously was frustrated with the way that his Intercontinental Championship match with Christian ended. I think a lot of people were. You know, disqualification is never the way you want to see a match end. But I truly do believe he should just move on. I think Bret's kind of proved his point against both Christian and even Edge in the past, and I think here tonight this should be the closing chapter. If he can get that clean pinfall submission victory, whatever it is, I think he should just take it and he should move on and he should go for the World Heavyweight Championship. I think Bret did a great job as Intercontinental Champion. I think he's very fit right now to be the contender to the World Heavyweight title, and I think he should be the one perhaps to face Sandow. I mean, ultimately, if I had a choice of the many men involved in the SmackDown main event scene, my choice goes to Randy Orton, no doubt about it. I think Randy is the rightful contender. He's pinned Triple H, he's pinned Sandow. He's gotten a lot of momentum. The guy even beat Sandow and Cena in a handicap after Triple H walked out. Like, Randy Orton has absolutely proven that he should be the rightful contender to the World Heavyweight Championship. But my personal opinion, I think he should face Triple H at SummerSlam, get whatever that is off of his chest. You know, the next stop for SmackDown after that is Hell in a Cell, and I can't imagine a more fitting situation for Randy Orton's World Heavyweight title opportunity than to be locked inside the cell with, well, I was about to say Sandow, but he may not be champion. You know, Jericho, if he cashes in, maybe even Bret Hart, I don't know. All I'm saying is I feel that the Hell in a Cell is the appropriate place for Randy Orton to set foot inside of and try to capture that World Heavyweight Championship once again. Randy Orton won the first ever Hell in a Cell match back at WrestleMania 1 against Undertaker to capture his second World Heavyweight Championship. And I think that it could all come full circle. But I think he's got that Triple H issue to take care of first. Either way, though, I feel like these two are going to put on a classic here tonight. As I said before, Edge has certainly lost a lot of momentum this season. I don't think his win-loss record's very good at all, when I'm being completely honest with you. But Bret's, on the other hand, has been phenomenal. This guy's been incredible. This whole season, he's suffered one loss, and it was a triple threat match where he lost the Intercontinental title. And I wouldn't even count that as a loss, personally, which is why I say he's undefeated this season. He may have a loss in the win-loss records, but I feel like Christian pinning a Edge who just laid down for him is nothing in terms of proving that Bret Hart has suffered a loss. You know, Edge has only won one match this season. He's lost 9. This man is actually supposed to be over on Superstars. He's literally I think he's in the bottom 4 of the SmackDown rankings. He is right down there. But obviously this challenge here tonight did catapult him to the main event against the man who is 11-1 this season. And that one loss, as I said before, I really do not count. I'd say he's 11-1 in terms of a technicality, but I'd say honestly he's 11-0 if you ask me. He may not be the Intercontinental Champion anymore. He might have lost it this season, but he didn't lose it. And Money in the Bank did not prove that Christian is better than Bret Hart at all. But I think Bret's got a nice situation here, you know. Ultimate Warrior put Christian in his place earlier on. Bret could comfortably say, you know, I'm going to set my sights on the World Heavyweight title. I trust the Ultimate Warrior to take care of you, Christian. And I don't think Edge or Christian are going to want to cross their Ultimate Warrior after seeing what that guy could do earlier tonight. Right now, though, Edge looking impressive against Bret Hart. I don't want to count Edge out. I think this he's had a real struggle of a career, you know. Obviously, back in Season 1, he closed out the season by becoming World Heavyweight Champion and then getting cashed in on. Jack Swagger robbed this man of the World Heavyweight Championship, and that is something Edge has not lived down after all this time.
What a night we're having on SmackDown.
Breaker there by Bret. Nice back and forth between these two so far in this early part of this matchup.
Edge is in trouble. Oh, down on the back. You know his neck is feeling that one. He drops the elbow.
I'm just figuring out what's been up with my capture card lately. Let's see if I can. I'm sorry if this cuts the video out at all. I just suddenly started to wonder something. No. I'm not sure about this.
What a great match we have here on Friday Night SmackDown.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Oh my God, an enziguri, a head kick.
Oh my God, an enziguri. He sounded so bored. Does this work? If I move, it does. Okay. Sorry. I'll put it back. I've always just felt like the sharpness is a little too high on my capture card, but I can't actually change that setting, so never mind. Just feels like there's like some jagged edges quite a bit, and obviously I know with this game there would be, because it's on the PS3 and it only plays at 720p anyway. On my other channel there's been some videos that have looked a little bit too sharp for my liking, but I don't know. I have no idea how to fix that kind of thing. I'm not a very technically smart person. People think I am. I know the basics. I know how to Google something and find this solution that way. Nice drop kick by Bret Hart, by the way. It was really well executed. They call him the excellence of execution for a reason. Bret setting Edge up in the corner. What is it? Oh my God, what is this? Bret, what are you doing? Bret getting relentless here. Oh my goodness, no way. Is this guy seriously gonna go for a sharpshooter on the ring post? My God. Bret getting vicious. Edge is helpless. I mean, he can't tap out there. He's technically in the ropes. That was a very brutal move to come from the honorable Bret Hart, but I feel like Edge is really setting this guy. I mean, Edge and Christian have been setting this guy over the limit for a while now.
these competitors trying to keep their wits about them.
Edge would not dare get himself counted out, disqualified, or anything like that. This is all about trying to prove that he does belong in the World Heavyweight Championship scene. And I think because of that, Edge is going to actually fight this match clean from start to finish, which we have seen so far. And there is no sign of Christian in this match either. I think Edge is furious right now with the fact that he wasn't able to win Money in the Bank. You know, their plan was that they would cheat Bret Hart out of the Intercontinental Championship, and then Edge would win the Money in the Bank contract, and he would cash in the same way that he was cashed in on 2 years ago, and he would right that wrong, and he would finally become World Heavyweight Champion. And that has not happened. Edge has been set back once again, and I think it's starting to take its toll on him. As I said before, his win-loss record is not great. 1-9 is really not good this season. Edge has got to do something to turn things around for himself, and he's given it everything he's got right now. Bret, oh god, stumbling over the lower step there. Back inside the ring, these two go. Been a pretty good main event so far between these two, I feel. Snapmare takedown, an elbow to the back of the head.
And an opportunistic maneuver by Edge.
Back in control. Oh. Once again, these two going back and forth with each other. And Edge pressed down to the mat by Bret Hart. Oh, but he's back up. I'm surprised to see Edge moving so spryly. I would have thought that that sharpshooter on the ring post would have really taken its toll on Edge, but he seems to still be able to keep going. Clothesline takes down Bret. Imagine how huge this could be for Edge if he was to be the first guy to defeat Bret Hart this season one-on-one clean. Take down to Bret. Remember when he used his comeback a second ago? Used it just to stand up. Elbow to the back of the head of Edge, and Christian is in. Bret Hart is in control. Where did I get Christian from? And now Bret, center of the ring almost. Didn't quite go for it, but there you go, center of the ring. Sharpshooter. That's quite clever there. Yeah, he did set him up for the center of the ring. It's just that the perspective made it look like he hadn't. And this is the second sharpshooter Edge has received this match. And Bret let go. Surprisingly merciful from the Hitman there. But Bret deciding to let go of the sharpshooter. Clothesline takedown. Edge in control once again. He has looked impressive in this. I mean, he's hung in there. I don't know if maybe Bret felt he was losing his grip, if he felt like perhaps Edge was getting too close to the ropes, but it's not every day you see Bret Hart release the sharpshooter. Just important to note that Edge did not escape it either. Uh-oh. Was Bret going in for a second? Well, I think he was. I think Edge knew it. Breaker from Edge, and now Edge is back in control. 10-minute time limit halfway through officially. These two both have so much to prove right now. Obviously, if Edge beats Bret, that won't propel him to contention for the World Heavyweight Championship, but he could maybe find himself in contention for another title with enough wins. A European title, perhaps. Cover attempt here from Edge, and a kick out very quickly there. Neck breaker once again. Back and forth here. Continuing some more. Bret putting in a submission hold here. I mean, Edge putting in a submission hold here on Bret. Is Bret going to tap? This would be a first. This does not happen often. If at all. I don't feel like Bret's ever tapped out, and he did not there either. Edge stomping down on the chest of Bret. Kind of funny, actually. I didn't realize this, but yeah, we're in Canada here tonight. We got these two main events. Isn't that ironic? I didn't actually think about that, because obviously I have no idea where the shows are going to be. I find out when you do. Well, I find out before you do, because I record these before they go live. But you know what? You know what I mean. Bret sending Edge into the ropes and pulls him back. Oh, backbreaker there. Perfectly positioned. If he could get that sharpshooter locked in now, so close to the center of the ring, that could be the finishing point in this match. But no! Rake to the eyes from Edge, and there goes the possibility of winning this one clean. Edge with a roll-up. We've seen roll-ups succeed in the past here. Bret able to turn it around. This guy is a mastermind in the ring. He's got Edge covered, and he gets him. I tell you, Bret has a reversal for any hold you can throw at him. And that was a great one there tonight. I feel like this has truly got to be the finishing point. And a display of respect, surprisingly, between these two in front of their hometown crowd. And the fans love it. Bret Hart, a man of honor, a man of respect, and perhaps the next World Heavyweight Champion. Well, I asked some questions on this episode, I don't know what they are anymore, but let me know your answers to them down below. I will see you guys tomorrow night on Superstar.